So, tonight, I got a very interesting line for you. Like I said, the gracious sponsor of our first of our prize. Please give it up for Patrick. Entrepreneur, father, young father, young parents, two kids, not so young parents anymore. And
very much behind you.
Very interesting. It's very interesting history and past, but I'm not going to divulge that. I won't spoil it for you. How many of you guys know him? Okay. So good luck. New face. Okay, let me get this slide up.
You're good at looking for photographs, eh?
Hey, it's all public domain.
Where's your card that says stalker?
I'm really watching the print on me.
I'm a con man, but you're a stalker. I know which is worse.
Okay, give it up for Patrick.
Hey everyone, good evening. My name is Patrick. I'm the founder of Greenroom136. Can you guys hear me from the back?
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, I'm a little nervous today because this is really the first time I'm speaking out of my circle. I've never spoken about my company in this type of an audience before. Now, how many of you here are entrepreneurs? Raise your hands. Up, keep them up. How many of you are entrepreneurs that's been doing business for the past more than 1 year? Great. Okay. So the remaining, I assume you guys are not entrepreneurs at all. I assume that you are here because you want to learn more about entrepreneurship or technopreneurship. So, sorry? Angels. How many of you here are actually here to get to know Wuhan a little bit better?
You changed the slides like such a young thing.
Yeah, man. Okay, so, well, today's confession, I'm not a coder. How many of you are coders here? I'm no coder, right?
But you need him, you need his products.
But what I am, like the rest of all of you, is really a product evangelist, right? We create products. We are in love with product development. And today I'm going to share with you a little bit about my product. But a little bit of backstory. A couple of years back, I came across, well, I have a friend. We were partners pretty much in ideas of how to build our own business. We always wanted to build our own business. We always wanted to build products, particularly me. I love products. And we were figuring out what's the best thing to do. One thing we know is that we do not want to retail someone else's product because there is not much future in that. If that corporation chooses to close down or choose to change their direction, that's it. You have to change direction along with them. So I've always wanted to create my own product whereby I call the shots. I make the rules, right? But as early or aspiring entrepreneurs, you will have, or you will start out with 0 ideas, right? You want to start a business, but when you want to think about it, you always come across just one blank page. That's when this friend of mine, all of a sudden, out of the blue, came up to me and said, "Hey, you know what? I just built this bag manufacturing in China," and he said that, you know, why don't you design something? I'll build it for you. And at that point of time, all of a sudden you just have this great spark, right? It's like this big light bulb just ping. And hey, you know what? I think this is a calling. I figured that, you know, how often do you come across someone who comes up to you and say that, hey, I've got this great thing, let's build it, right? So I thought about it, and that's when I decided to build this bag company with this friend of mine. right? So that was the backstory a little bit about back business. But there is also another side of me that sort of, in a way, inspired my spark to become an entrepreneur. I like helping people, right? And me being an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur, at a time whereby I have no one to talk to regarding entrepreneurship. There is no resource, right? 4 years ago, podcasting was very mediocre. It was very, very basic. Not like what we have today. Jason Calacanis was, in Silicon Valley, it was just not online, right? So I wanted to become that. I wanted to give my knowledge back to the community, to the people who basically is clueless about being an entrepreneur, building a business. I wanted to do that. So that's when I decided to form Greenroom136. Now, what I'm going to share with you today is basically 5 things that I learned from building up Greenroom. Now, why I choose 5 things? Because I'm a very long-winded person, so I'll spare you guys the pain. Number 1, first thing that I really learned about building up a new business, about producing and building a product, is that you will fail. And you will fail, and you will fail some more. And it's all about perseverance. Right? Why will you fail? Because, let's face it, I'm not a designer. I'm not a coder. I'm nothing more than a marketer, a salesman. What do I know about building bags? Right? But this friend of mine was very confident. He told me this. I have the same problem as well. I also do not know how to build a bag. Right? But I am able to build this manufacturing company, and this manufacturing company has the designers to make things happen for me. So he said one thing, he said it very clear. It's easy, build it, and it will sell. Oh, how wrong was that? So I picked up a piece of paper, right, with so much zest and aspiration. I drew up some design, I gave it to him, passed it over to the designers, and this is a piece of crap that came back. But you see, the thing about China, any guys of you heard that this saying that you send anything to China, they can photocopy it? This is exactly what they have done in this scenario, right? So they literally took my drawings, stick their bloody hand inside, and yanked out a 2-dimensional drawing into the 3D world, right? And came out with this product. Now, when I look at this product, there were a lot of things I was unhappy about. 1, there is no function, there is no feel, there is no feature. And every single detail about this product is just plain wrong, right? So it was a time of learning, humiliation, by ignorance. I was very ignorant at this first point of time, right? So I was thinking to myself, maybe it's because the designer didn't know what the hell I was trying to tell him, because it was a 2-dimensional drawing. So I thought, what if I were to make it myself and then pass it to them? Perhaps he'll be able to see a 3-dimensional idea of what I want, right? So I thought, all right, let's do it. So I picked up some fabric. I didn't know how to sew, right? So I thought, well, pick up a needle, pick up some thread. I've sewed a button or 2, so I guess I could sew a bag. So I came up with this bag of shit. Really horrible. Really horrible. I had a lot of blister on the finger for a week, right? So when I built this bag, it was really learning about getting your hands really dirty, getting right deep in the product. Right? I learned that much. But it was a very good serving of humble pie. Right? It was a point, a moment where you go, you don't know shit. Right? So I thought, well, but I built a bag. I mean, God damn it, I built a bag. Right? Maybe, perhaps, what if I really do pick up a sewing machine, learn how to sew, I might come up with something interesting, right? So I thought, okay, I've come this far, right? All right, let's do it. So I decided to, well, of course, this was a fail. So I decided to buy a sewing machine, and I came up with this. Now, at this point of time, when you finally learn how to sew, right? When you finally learn how to use a sewing machine, it's pretty much exactly like how you guys were when you finally first know how to code an actual product, right? You have this really great hope in putting in a lot of stuff, making it very special, making it very unique, right? So I thought, well, I looked into all the competition, I figured out what is it that make the bags nice, and well, the one thing they didn't do well is that they have this really plasticky inner lining. This is really horrible. So what if I were to put in a little bit of Malaysian flavor and put in batik? It was a good idea, but hey, you know what? Batik don't last very long. So curiosity really killed this cat, and well, my hopes were dashed, right? This was definitely another fail, right? So if you were to think back, oh, this was actually, when I was making these slides and I was going through from one to another, I actually realized that all these these are actually stages of failure. Actually, if I were to think back, all the partners that I used to work with, that I used to help them to build very successful businesses to today, I saw the same stages of failure that they have went through, which I have, right? So if you, what I'm showing you here is not my failure. I'm showing you here the process of failures that the new entrepreneurs will eventually go through when you start to build your product, right? So, fail. So, okay, what I want to do now, right? So I thought, well, when I look at this design, I had a lot of problems in terms of technicality. There was a lot of things that was done very wrongly, right? So I researched into it again, and I came up with this, right? I was looking into processes. I was looking into building blocks. What you see at the bottom here are pretty much all the parts that are being used to build this bag, right? And I was looking into colors, I was looking into fabric, the fine details. But one thing about this product is that it takes too long to build because there are too many parts. And when you have too many parts, it means you have to sew these parts. And if any of the seams were to pop, you have a very big bag, right? You'll fall apart. So I had a renewed sense of confidence, but I was really learning the early stages of building blocks, of building a bag product. So, but when I looked at this, I said, well, it was definitely a fail, but maybe there are progress, right? So I re-looked into it again. Then I came up with this. I fine-tuned it, right? And at this point, you get a sense of real world. When you look at this bag, you thought, hey, this looks good, right? Not too bad. So now, I'm no coder. I'm just a salesman. I'm just a marketer. I'm definitely not a designer, nor am I good at production, right? So what is the first thing that you do? You bring this bag to someone that can manufacture it for you. But if you look at the bag business in Malaysia, right? A lot of this organization has already gone to China because it's so much cheaper, right? So whatever remnants of manufacturing there is in Malaysia, they are all looking for fast money, easy bags to build, so that they can increase they can maximize their throughput and make more money, right? So when I showed them this, when I told them about this bag, they say, yeah, we'll build it. When I showed them this bag, they ran. Right? Pitchforks out and you shoot me out of the office. In their minds, sorry? In their minds, they thought, in their minds, it was just, the volume was too small. And the design was just too complicated. And this is what I mean by having a real sense of the real world. Again, I didn't fail in design, but the world failed me. I couldn't get this product out in the market. At this point in time, after so many fails, a lot of people got ran off. Remember I told you about my partner? What I didn't tell you is that after the first bag, he ran. Right? So those were the challenges, and it's very difficult. There were many times where you just didn't know what to do. You're already committed, right? And you're at this pinnacle. And you didn't know what to do. So well, I'm still a stubborn ass, so I went on again, and I came up with this. Now, when I came up with the last design, I was pretty happy with the design, and I thought that, hey, if no one's going to build it, right? Why don't let me just build another great bag. So at this point in time, because you have this great sense of confidence in your design, in your workmanship, you thought that you can do anything. And I had my very first sense of hubris, right? So I came up and I thought to myself, well, let's build a much more complicated bag, put in more stuff. Oh, this buckle here is very tough. Oh, they put a padding onto it so that it doesn't rub against your thighs. And I came up with this shit. I really want to burn this bag. But you know what? I was trying to be smart, right? And I felt even worse at this point of time, right? And that's when I really sat down, and when things started to calm, I was telling myself, why don't we go back to basics, right? Simplicity. And I did. I went back to basics. I re-looked into the entire building block, into all the plans, and I decided a few very key decisions. One, simplicity in design, function in design, making the bag work as a functional piece of garment to the user, and making the bag so strong that the user will not have to worry about popping a seam. So when I came out with these two bags, there were a few key things that I made. One is the entire bag is made out of one piece of fabric. It uses 1000 denier Cordura nylon. This is the same type of fabric Crumpler uses. Same type of fabric Timbuktu uses. Right? These are very heavy grade stuff. And at this point in time, I was really looking into the customers of bags, messenger bags in the States, because that's where messenger bags came from. And I started to learn their culture, I started to learn why the bags are built in a certain way, and you get a real sense of why these bags are the way they are today. Right? So really looking into product. Right? And I was very happy with this, so it was no longer a fail. And on the next revision of bags, I decided to mass produce the bags. But again, I couldn't find a manufacturer, so I said, fuck it. Sorry. So yeah, who doesn't swear, right? So I decided to build the first 10 bags, right? And I built 10 of those and 10 of these, and a whole bunch of those, right? And I really looked into the design with common sense over complexity. Now, in many cases, when we produce a product, we always think about using complexity to solve problems. But actually, you don't need that. You don't need to have a very complex solution to solve possibly a very simple problem, right? And sometimes when you do something and it turns out to be a right thing to do, there's no reason to change it, right? So just improvise the wheel. There's no reason to change that wheel. So I really spent time to engineer the bags with improved building blocks, and I came up with this. And once I came out with these products, these prototypes, started to sell out to the market, that's when you start to receive feedback from real live users, right? People that have a very personal attachment with products. And that's when you get a real sense of understanding of your product and a new sense of confidence, right? And this is when I really fall in love with the bags all over again. And finally, this is the latest bags I produced. And failure is still something. Failure is still a daily affair. It never ends. Until today, even this bag, I can tell you there's a lot of things that I've already failed. But I don't know, it looks too good to be a failure. One thing for sure.
It's like a god.
Yeah. we all perfectionists. Let's face it. Who's a perfectionist here? Right? We're all perfectionists. So when you're a perfectionist, you spend too much of time thinking about every single detail. So sometimes simplicity is all about, that's all it takes, right? So failure only builds you to be stronger. And it's really, really true. So I hope you will all spend a little bit more time on the product, simplicity rather than complexity, right? So that's the first thing that I learned from starting up this business. Now the second thing I really learned from it is know it and build it. Knowing it is more about your customers, knowing why they buy these products, knowing what about these products that really excites them, right? Knowing the problem that you're trying to resolve for these customers, right? And then knowing the building blocks to a successful product. So this is more of solidifying the first point of failure. But once you have this idea of what product you want to build, you need to build it, right? Now a lot of people, a lot of young entrepreneurs that I've been talking with, they have great ideas, but they always have a roadblock, right? They always have this mental block of, I don't have the money to do it. I don't have the resource to do it. But sometimes it doesn't need, you don't need a lot of money to build something. You don't need a lot of resource to build something. You just need to build a prototype out. Right? And with that prototype, that's when you start to talk to people. You share your ideas with people. You share, ideas evolve. You may have one idea today, the idea tomorrow will evolve. So don't have to worry about getting someone to sign an NDA, because by the time next day, right, the NDA is invalid. Right? So talk, share, build a prototype. You'll be surprised by the type of reaction you get. Right? If it weren't because of the first few bags that I built, I would not be able to have the confidence to go further. I had a lot of encouragement. A lot of people like the things that I built. Right? So building a prototype is very key. 3, the elevator pitch. You've all heard of this, right? You know there's an elevator pitch and then there is the elevator pitch. Right? The elevator pitch is all about going to meet up with a prospect and telling this prospect, hey, I've got this great idea. That's about it. Right? And when this person says, all right, give me a plan, you have nothing. Why? You only have this idea. Now, the elevator pitch is really all about passion. Right? When it's all about telling a very, very good, in fact, great story. Right? And a good story comes from the heart. Also known as passion. To get passion, you need to get your hands really, really dirty, right deep into the product. If you do not have that connection with your product, you will never be able to tell a great story. There will be no passion. Then you are nothing more than just trying to sell ice to an Eskimo. Right? Who can sell ice to an Eskimo? Not enough passion here. I know I can. Have you tried ice cream? Have you tried ice kacang? It's the same, right? Words are overrated. They really are. Right? Some people will go to the extent of just coming up with blogs and ideas and write about it, but they have nothing to show. And reading something, the result of that read is dependent on the individual's imagination. Right? So if the individual has got very poor imagination, you're screwed. You have no prospect. Right? So it's all about going down to using and choosing the right tools to really complement your story. Now, this is something that is something that I have not done for Green Room, but I've done for my other work. I had this major event. And in this event, right, who's not been to an event? Everyone's been to an event, right? So you talk to someone, I built this event. They'll tell you, okay, great. If you were to tell them, I built this event and here are photographs, say, okay, not too bad. But you know what I did? I went one step ahead. I built a video, a 5-minute video of the entire event, the crowd that turned up, the events or the activities of the events, and they fell in love with the event. So finding the right tool to convey your story is very, very key to telling a great story. Otherwise, you will lose the imagination of your prospect, and you'll be a wasted effort. Now, why I've not done this for Green Room is because of very unfortunate circumstances. But one thing I do notice is that every time when I bring my bag out to a prospect and I do a demo, instantly it's a sell, right? And imagine if I were to put that into a video, every customer or every prospect that goes to my website to view that video is an instant sell, possibly. I could only wish, right? So find the right tool to tell a very, very good story. Number 4, choose wisely. Choosing wisely is all about you as a captain of this ship, right? You own this business. You're the boss. If this ship sinks, you will not be the first person to run away. If you are, then this is not your ship, right? So when you form a business, when you start a business, you get a lot of armchair, what do you call this? Critics. People will tell you, oh no, you shouldn't do it like this. Oh no, you shouldn't do it like that. But you know, you command this ship. Success or failure of this ship, that's your call. So you need to make a decision on what you need to do to resolve the problems you need to resolve. Right? Right or wrong, you need to make a call. And if you do make a call, you will never know if it's the right direction or not, right? So the best way to do it is accept that it was the best case scenario back then, and if it's turned out to be the worst, pivot, change the direction, make another call, right? Manage the ripples, and really the feedback of the people you get. The good feedback is a waste of time because it doesn't give you much value. The bad feedback, you need to choose this bad feedback really with care. Some are really vindicative. They are being seeded for very selfish reasons because maybe they do not want you to succeed. Some are really constructive criticism that really shares with you what you can do to be better, and have many cases such as that. And really, the last point is China is not always the answer, right? Now, this statement may be unique to me, but it's actually unique to all of us. Why do I say this? Right? Just now I was supposed to say that why is everyone so hung up about HTML5, right? So, if you think about it, there is so many options to choose from when you're building a product. Need not necessarily mean that if everyone says that this option is the best, that you need to follow that option. Right? Everyone is saying that iPhone application is the best. But hey, if you're unsure of developing apps for iPhone, then do you think iPhone application is the best for you? Right? So same thing for me. When it comes to China, everyone is saying that it's cheap, it's affordable, but you know what? China has gone through an economic boom in such a short period of time. They missed out certain stages of evolution, right? In cultural buildings. It's true, right? So they see things very differently from how we see things. They see money more than they see value. They see business more than they see relation. So if you were to go into China and you try to fight for the best price, they will give you the best price. But when they send you the entire container load of products, right? The front layer of products will be the best products in the world. The back layer, which is 80% of your shipment, right, are all junk. And you can't trash them. Or you can't sell them. That's China. Right? There's a lot of backstory behind it, right? I'm not saying the Chinese are bad. Do not hack my site. But it's just that if you engage China with a wrong intention, you get the wrong results. Right? So the reason why I didn't engage China is because if my bag gets into the Chinese, you'll most likely be replicated to other brands. Right? Their MOQ, or minimum order quantity, is extremely large. If you're a small startup, it'll kill you instantaneously. Right? And if you're unsure of your product, it'll kill you immediately. Right? And yeah, if you're going to build a product in China, you need to plonk your ass there for at least a month or two to ensure quality is in optimum condition before you can come back here and trust this group of people. Right? So choose wisely. 5. Get a mentor. You do not know this chart. You do not know this part of the water. Right? You're very new in this industry. You have no clue what the hell you're doing. Sure, you can Google things. You can learn from a lot of platforms. And I don't necessarily mean a mentor being an individual. It could be a lot of different types of medium. I can pretty much say that I've got a mentor, a physical living person. Alright, the guy who opened up a bag company in China, who eventually closed down before I could perfect my bags. But he taught me a lot. Right? He taught me into how to actually build bags. Right? Then my greatest mentor is basically Robert Kiyosaki, Richard Branson, Donald Trump.
You're back.
But you know what? These guys don't teach me, sorry?
All uncles.
All uncles. But these guys don't teach me how to build bags, right? So they teach me about entrepreneurship. Seth Godin teaches about marketing. I don't read. I don't have enough time to read. I love to read. I do audiobooks. I do a lot of them. And for 50 ringgit a month, to be able to have Richard Branson read his life story to you, that is priceless. That's what I call having a mentor that doesn't know that you're actually following him, right? So there's a lot of ways you can go about doing this. And you know what? There is also another mentor that's really, really great to me. YouTube. There's also another place where I learned how to build bags. Because there are a lot of people out there who also know how to build bags. They produce videos and post it up online. Right? And this is also where I learned about messenger culture, about users of messenger bags. Right? So speak to as many people as you can. Really, really speak to as many people as you can. Don't worry about them stealing your ideas, because if they steal your ideas, they have stolen it a long time ago. Right? So when you are coming up with product, well, for programmers it's a little difficult because it's quite easy to code, but it's not exactly easy to solve. So there's some advantage. Right? So gain a mentor from someone with knowledge of the subject matter, or find some way to gain some knowledge. Right? But above all, to end, there's only one thing that I want to impart to all of you, and that is respect the process. Really respect the process, because it's all about a journey from zero to hero. Right? So thank you very much. Any questions before?
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. We gotta move it.
How long did it take you to do the whole, until you started manufacturing in mass production?
Meaning
From the first bag till
2 years.
2 years.
3.
And how did you fund yourself? How did you support yourself throughout that time?
I was doing this during twilight hours. I was really working many hours. I'm ADD. But frankly, never go into entrepreneurship with just an idea, because you sink. You need cash. So if you're able to share your idea with your boss, by all means do so. If you're unable to, keep your mouth, keep your trap shut, and just work overtime at night. Really slog your way through. All you need is just 3 hours of your time, and you'll be able to build something. It may take a long time, but you are 3 hours ahead of anyone else, and that makes a difference.
Okay, sorry, I'm not taking more questions.
Guys.
Grab him later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patrick. And that brings us to our next. Was that good? That was good? That was okay?
Yeah.
I will post a link to his store on the Facebook group page. You all better get his bags before he raises the price and become famous and all that. You heard it here first.